Hey, it's the footy coach here. Let's talk about this weekend's game between Arsenal and Manchester City. Arsenal demolished City 5-1, that kept their title challenge going, and it's a good win for them. They capitalized on nearly all of City's mistakes and made sure the champions were punished. Defensively, I don't think they did anything different to what we've seen from Arteta's side this season. They were compact, well organized, and the setup of the side was not unusual. Credit to Arteta for sticking to the system instead of how in the past he's tried to change to react to City's way of playing. They were aggressive from the start and smartly dropped off to a mid-press as soon as they took the lead. They didn't create much after their goal bar that amazing Havertz miss, which came from good pressing. One of the things that Arsenal did in the first half for creativity was to drop Lewis Skelly into midfield. It didn't help much then, but as we saw for the third goal, it finally worked out. A lovely finish by the young lad. The second half was ruthlessly efficient as they scored 4 goals for 5 shots on target. And that's job done. And on to their next challenge. On the other side though, it's Guardiola who has the biggest problem. There's a lot of discussion by the pundits on Sky Sports, for example, about Haaland's impact on the game, how he's not as effective this season. This is what you would think after watching this game, and that it is a problem for City, but it's not. He's taken the most shots in the league, he's had, the most chances, and he's missed the second most chances out of any player in the Premier League. So they're still creating opportunities. They did huff and puff a bit in the first half. David Raya made a couple of quality saves, and it felt that Arsenal were boxed in and City were doing what City do. This is a side though that rarely makes mistakes, and this game was full of them, starting from the opening moments with Stones' ball into Akanji, whose body position is all wrong. Arsenal making them pay with Odegaard finishing off the move. Ortega then later on in the first half plays a slow pass, a hospital pass into Kovacic, who's running back, not quickest of players. Arsenal win the ball, and Havertz then misses an absolute sitter. So even when they equalized, it took another mistake from Foden, who made an atrocious pass across the pitch straight to Partey, came forward with the ball, no one pressured him, and with the aid of deflection gave Arsenal the lead again, a lead that City had worked so hard to remove. Now, I mentioned Lewis Skelly's goal earlier and how Arsenal tried to use him in the first half between the lines, but you look at City's players here, I'm not sure whether this is lethargy or something else, but I've noticed this often across their games. You could say maybe it's a loss of Rodri, but in this instance, Mamouche just watches Lewis Skelly, doesn't pressure him, no one actually comes to face him up, they kind of wait for him to come to them, and he has a time to pick his spot. Ortega probably could have saved it too. This is also repeated on the 5th goal, Nwaneri's goal. They gave him time to shoot. If you go back and watch the first half at Anfield, you'll see City's midfield or defense doing this on multiple occasions as Liverpool swarmed all over. And it happened against PSG, for example, too. A game that I believe they were lucky to lose only 4-2. Now, for me, the biggest issue for this City side is their midfield. It's lost his legs. My opinion is that Guardiola hasn't accepted this yet. It's normal actually for a coach to not believe the legs of his players have gone. Jurgen Klopp did exactly the same 2 seasons ago and believed Henderson, Fabinho et al. Were all just having a bad patch and they didn't need replacing. But then he remedied that by signing 4 powerful midfielders the summer after. City have had a chance to remedy it now in this January transfer window. Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Kovacic, all great players in their prime, they were full of running power. I'm not equating this with pace, but they were very quick over the first 5 meters. Now, you can see that they've lost that. So it is a surprise that City haven't signed a midfielder, though I see links to Nico Gonzalez. Top teams in this league, Liverpool, Arsenal, Villa, Chelsea, Newcastle, all have these powerful midfielders. And I do think that's a prerequisite these days. If you want to see the opposite, just look at the other Manchester team. City like to squeeze their opposition in, and without that running power, when teams counter, they're exposed as they were for Havertz's goal. So that's where I think Man City need to fix, and what Pep Guardiola needs to fix for his team to become one of the top teams again, because at this moment in time, they're definitely not one of the top teams. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and apologies for being away.